the side waist and under the armpit. So you lengthen through the arm. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale, take a side bend as you continue to ground through that left sitting bone. Arm can be up as mine is or at the shoulder, or you can leave it down if you have any shoulder issues. Again, just being right where you are. Staying here a moment or two. Through the inhalation, find a lift on both side waists. And with the exhalation, again, re-ground that left sitting bone and find length through the left fingertips. On an inhale, come on up to center. Exhale, bring the arm down. Just pause and notice, how does it feel from side to side? Does it feel in the chest cavity? And then walk those left fingertips a little bit out to the side. Really make length and opening. Long neck. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale with length. Take a side bend over to the left. Inhaling, find length in the spine. Exhaling, ground that right sitting bone. Sighing, humming, moaning sound. It's all welcome here, especially in your own space. It's really good for you. It's good for vagus nerve toning, to hum a little. So use sound, use breath. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, bring the arm down. And now we'll take a twist. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Again, ground the sitting bones. Lift the crown. And on an exhale, take a twist to the right. You can let the hands fall wherever feels comfortable for you. Inhale, lengthen the spine. 2 directions. Exhale, spin. Stay with this a couple more breaths as you twist to the right. Take the neck and head with you to whatever extent is possible for you. Remember to bring the eyes, the gaze, all connected. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, pause here. Soften the jaw. We'll take the other side. Inhale, tall. And exhale, spin left. Just find an easy place for your hands. Continue like this, inhaling, lengthen in 2 directions. And exhaling, spin the rib cage around the spine. Let the gaze lead you. Easy at the base of the skull. Couple breaths here. Just exploring, maybe deepening, maybe not. Just exploring the twist. Inhale and exhale, come back to center. So we've just done what's known as the 6 movements of the spine. Arching and curling, right? And then side bending of the spine and twisting. So that in itself is a nice little mini practice. It's a full practice that I offer to you. You can do anytime. You can do it at your desk. You can do it in a meeting. Why not? So I'll take a minute and pause here. And I encourage you to just sit with your own breath, with your own sense of your own body, and just let my words wash over you a little bit. I'm starting with a chant. Rachel's going to put the words into the chat, both in Hebrew and in transliteration and in English. This line comes from Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs, chapter 5, verse 2. It says, I'm asleep, but my heart is awake. The voice of my beloved knocks. Open to me. Feel free to listen or sing along. I'll chant a couple times. Ani yeshena velibi kol dodi dofek pitri li. 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 So our first week with writing from Rabbi Miriam Margles, my beautiful colleague, is on the theme of attuning to the shofar as an invitation to open our hearts. So, of course, the month of Elul comes with the blowing of the shofar every single morning at Shacharit, traditionally. Miriam tells us, in this month leading up to Rosh Hashanah, the shofar's raw vibrations are meant to stir us awake. Maimonides, in Mishneh Torah, describes the blasts of the shofar as calling out, "Wake up, slumbers, from your sleep." Miriam tells us it's challenging to stay awake, morally, spiritually. We regularly move through our lives half asleep, our attention dulled, distracted, absorbed in narrow self-concern. Half awake, we react to situations we perceive imperfectly, throwing around our judgment, anger, and hurt. We may be lulled into a stupor of resignation, discouragement, a sense of unworthiness. We forget just how vital and radiant we truly are, and what marvels are present in every moment, just under the surface of our boredom. We fall asleep in our lives and float away some distance from the holy heart that holds all of life in its pulse, and we wonder why we so often feel restless or unrooted or deeply lonely. Am I preaching to the choir? But we can practice waking up, she says, and she brings us the chant that I just sang for you. She says there's an aspect of ourselves that never falls asleep. Our hearts are ever awake. Our spiritual practice is for the purpose of learning to remove the barriers encasing our hearts, to stir our attention, to feel them calling to us. What wakes us up is not a harsh and blaring alarm. It's not the voice of judgment, deen, of criticism or shame. No, it's the kol, the voice with a kuf, the kol, a murmuring, a tug, a murmuring, still, small voice, as we know from the High Holy Day liturgy, the kol de mama daka, knocking at the door of our awareness. Pitrili, open to me. It says, let me in. It's the voice of the one, capital O, the one who already knows you and always loves you, no matter what you have done, encouraging you to allow the defensive armor around your heart to come undone, to stop hiding, to rouse yourself from sleep, and to draw closer and closer. She asks us if we can use the shofar call to remember our essential belovedness and worth, lovingly meeting and loosening any inner protest that might arise. Can you open and invite in the voice of the beloved, kol dodi, which knocks, dofek, wholly accepting and befriending your imperfect, perpetually growing, glorious being? Can you feel the shofar's notes to vibrate through you, embracing you in the expansive and gracious good company of all beloved beings? So she says, if there are walls around your heart, they have no doubt been erected there in the hope of protection. So let's approach our practice with care. Let's take our time and meet our hearts, meet any resistance with great tenderness. And she invites us into a teaching from Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi, of blessed memory, Zichrono Livracha. He says, if I wish to hear the voice of my beloved, I don't need email or voicemail. I simply touch my heart pulse. So I want to invite you to bring your hand to your own heart. You might even close your eyes. He says, I can feel and hear the rhythmic, I love you, I love you, I love you, from the one who created me and brought me into existence. Let's just take a moment. Perhaps you can feel, hear your own heartbeat, your own heart pulse, the whisper of, I love you, I love you. Taking a couple breaths like this. And in our practice today, as we come into movement, I'm going to look at opening the heart space a little bit, and at this invitation from Rabbi Miriam, can you open and invite in the voice of the beloved, wholly accepting and befriending your imperfect, perpetually growing, glorious being? So the yoga of befriending. Again, take your time, go as you need. We're going to come to standing through a squat, a ragdoll, and a roll-up. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips, keep a nice bend on the knees, and just hang down to whatever extent you need. If you don't want to have the head below the heart, take forearms to the thighs and extend the spine. However you like, just feeling this ragdoll position. Feet really contacting the earth. You might even lift and separate the toes. Feel the surface area of the soles of your feet contacting the earth. Feel the breath fill your torso three-dimensionally. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, draw the navel to the spine and begin to roll up, stacking vertebra on vertebra, easy arms. Supporting the low back as you roll up with that drawn in navel. Slowly making your way up to stand in a nice, easy mountain pose. The feet can be together or hip width apart. Widen the collarbones and allow the shoulder blades to slide down the back. Lengthen the back of the neck. See if you can bring some ease to the base of the skull by taking the tip of your nose in small circles, just painting a small circle in one direction, and then the other direction. Just finding some ease, some effortlessness for that occipital joint. I'm going to take a little vinyasa, a little connection of breath to movement here for opening the heart. Pitchili. Open to me. Just following that verse in some embodiment here. Inhale and take the arms out and up. Exhale, clasp the hands and bring them to the base of your skull behind the head. Inhale and lift, allowing the elbows to lead, widening to the opposite corners of the room as you lift the heart and lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, coming back to neutral and letting the hands release and the arms just ease back down by the sides. So just like that, we'll take it a few times. Coming again, inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to the base of the skull, clasp hands. Inhale, let the skull drop back into the hands. Let the elbows lead by widening to opposite corners of the room. Lift the heart, open the chest, lengthen the tailbone down. Exhale, let the hands lift the head up, release the hands. Easily take them down. That's all in that one exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, taking the hands clasped to the base of the skull. Inhale, widen the elbows, lift the chest, widen the top ribs from the sternum. Exhale, coming down. Couple more times, just without words. Follow your own movements. You know what to do now. Feeling into breath, feeling into sensation. One last time. And as you come back, once again, take a hand to the heart right in the center here, and then place the other hand on the heart as well. So really on the sternum, on that midline. Feel the warmth of your hands, nourishing the upper chest, encouraging it to widen, to soften. You might even massage your hands in just a small circle. Feeling skin, feeling ribs. From this connection to this beautiful, vast, expansive heart space, we're going to take that into our standing poses, beginning with Warrior Two. Jump or step the feet nice and wide. We'll start to the right. So left toes in, right toes out. In this Warrior Two, I want you to think from this center sternum line of widening out and taking that wakeness of the heart out through the fingertips as we go. So there's real length across the whole thing. So here we go. Inhale, lift, open the chest. Exhale, bend through that right knee to come into the pose. A little or a lot, you decide how much bend you want here. Imagine that the breath is inhaling and exhaling right through the space of the center of the heart. Ani yeshena v'libi er. I was asleep, but my heart, just like a pilot light, was always awake. To my essence, to my connection, to my warrior strength, to the witnessing of my own life. When you're ready, come on up. You can rest the hands if you like. Turn the feet the other way. Inhale the arms up again. Feel that line from the center out to the edges. Exhale, bend through the left knee. The gaze is over the left fingertips. Couple of breaths here. And then come on up. We're going to turn the feet. We're going to take now triangle pose. You can use a block. You can take the hand just down the leg, or you can use a chair. I'll actually model with the chair for today. You can see. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, the hips shift over to the left as we extend to the right. Hand comes down. Block, shin, chair, wherever you like. Top arm coming up, if that works for you. And what I'd like you to consider in today's triangle pose, again, is the opening of the heart. The line from the bottom fingertips to the top fingertips. And this opening here of the heart space. The gaze can be forward or the gaze can be up toward the ceiling. Mind your neck, mind your own needs here. Take some breath into the chest. Draw up through the earth to the chest, to the heart. And then as you're ready, inhale, press through the feet and come on up. turn the feet. If you have a prop, change sides. Inhale. Exhale, shift the hips to the right as the torso comes to the left. Coming into the pose, right? So this would be just a nice, gentle way to take triangle pose. Beautiful right here. Or you can go a little deeper in. See what's working for you today, right? Feeling that expansion, that little pilot light of the heart, that place at the sternum, nice and open. Really embodying this verse from Shir HaShirim, from Song of Songs. Kol dodi dofek pitchili, the voice of the beloved knocks, open to me. Press into the feet, inhale up, coming on up. Can step or jump the feet back together. Taking the feet a little bit wider than hip width, just a little bit of easy swinging side to side. And I invite you easily with the hands to give yourself a little bit of self-massage to the belly and to the kidneys or the back as the hands swing. Just some ease as you swing side to side. Easy in the eyes, easy in the brow. As you're ready, come back to center, pause. Take a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. If you'd like, you can close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable, or just leave the eyes soft. Notice how you feel. Anything that's arising, anything that is knocking for your attention. Any yearning within your own heart to reach out for the divine as you understand it, for unity, for presence, for love, for spirit. Just listening for that kol de mama daka, that quiet inner beloved voice. And when you're ready, you can release the hands. We're going to come to the belly for a moment. So coming to this prone position, we're going to take Sphinx pose, the feet extended, tops of the feet to the floor, lengthened through the 10 toes. Draw the belly towards the spine, lengthen through the tailbone, and come on up to the forearms. Let the elbows be just below the shoulders, forearms into length. Feel almost that you could, it's the sense of tractioning the forearms back, right? They're not moving, but you're sort of drawing them back and feeling that you can draw the heart space, the chest forward through the arms. Nice even arc through the spine, right? We want to not crunch anywhere, particularly the lower back can be at risk in this one. So we want to find length and we want to find equal space from vertebra to vertebra. And then you can come on down when you're ready. Then we're going to come right back up. So it might be Sphinx pose again. Or you might feel like you want to move into a baby cobra or a cobra, taking the hands by the sides of your chest and inhaling and pressing up a little more. Or maybe you bring your hands forward. Right, so you decide, just investigating some kind of backward extension, heart opening here. And then when you're ready, lower down. If you'd like, press back to a child pose, bringing the buttocks to the heels, or a downward facing dog, lifting the hips, or a puppy pose with the buttocks in the air, the forehead bowed, and the arms lengthening forward. So anything of this sort, whatever feels like a natural counter pose to Sphinx or Cobra, go ahead and investigate that for a moment. As you're ready, roll on up. And we're going to take for several minutes a supported back bend, a heart opening. Really wonderful on the spiritual level, on the emotional level for opening the heart, on the physical level for finding some opening in the thoracic spine. But this part of the spine is not quite as flexible as the other parts of the spine, and for good reason. It's encasing important organs. But we want to make a little space between those thoracic vertebrae. So you're going to take your blanket and roll it into a jelly roll. Just like this, a nice tight roll. Put it in the upper third of your mat. Then you're going to come as follows. Lie back onto the blanket so it's kind of right behind the tops of the shoulders to begin with. Take the elbows, hook them around the blanket, and as you draw your head toward the opposite wall, draw the skin, the flesh of the back, down the back toward the buttocks, and then find a delicious spot. You'll really know when you get there. Probably in the lower third of the shoulder blade or the bottom tip of the shoulder blade, and then just lay back here. And we're going to stay here for about 5 minutes. So if you notice, it's really catching my breath, I can't get a good breath in, it might, or if it hurts, or if something's hardening or really grabbing around it, the jelly, the roll might be too high. You might want to make less of a roll. So this should be kind of, it should feel at your edge, but not beyond your edge. So that you're feeling some opening, but no pain, no strain. Knees can be bent as I'm doing, or the legs can be long. See what works for you. The back of the head is heavy to the floor, but the neck is not on the floor. And be here and breathe. Ani yeshena v'libi er. I was sleeping, but my heart was awake. Kol dodi dofek. The voice of the beloved, my beloved, knocks. Pitchili, open, 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 open up to me. So embodying this verse by opening up through the rib cage. Opening up some inner physical space. To allow for the possibility of that quiet, quiet voice to emerge, to direct us. To notice how maybe we have been asleep or in what way our hearts have been closed. And the impact that this may have had. Sometimes being asleep can be helpful or self-compassionate. Sometimes it creates more distance than we need from ourselves. Let's be here and breathe. A couple more minutes like this. To just see what's knocking at the door of your own precious, precious heart. You'll notice the feeling of breath perhaps very localized in the front of the ribs, in the upper chest. So we can capitalize on this shape to open some space here. We're not trying to take a super full belly breath, but just really feeling where the breath comes in and how the ribs widen. Smooth, steady, easy breaths. And then as you're ready, you can roll to the side and remove the jelly roll, or press into the feet and lift the hips and take that roll down the back, and then vertebra by vertebra bring your spine back to the floor. Just find neutral with the knees bent, the soles of the feet on the floor, the elbows bent, the palms on the low ribs or low belly, with the elbows out to the sides. Just feel your own breathing as your spine comes back to this neutral position. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. You might just repeat this to yourself as an anchor to stay right here, to stay present. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out, or I feel I am breathing out. And then as we move into stillness, to just let the practice settle into the nervous system. You could stay right here in this position, or you could take that jelly roll right under your thighs or your knees and lengthen your legs long. Having the blanket there just gives a little more ease to the low back. You might choose to take the arms at your sides, turn the palms to face up, or any other way you'd like to find stillness. Inviting quiet, letting the work just settle. Ani yeshena v'libi el kol dodi dofek pitchili. Ani yeshena v'libi el kol dodi dofek pitchili. Begin to deepen the breath as you come back to the surface, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take your time, as much time as you need to come up to a comfortable seat. The call of the shofar helps us to hear the pain of the world and to respond accordingly. As we've been doing each week since October 7th, as a community we extend our love, our grief, our hopes to the hostages. Currently there are still 97 hostages in Gaza that we know. At least 33 are confirmed dead. Alive, dead, we want them back. And so we joined for the liturgy that comes on Mondays and Thursdays, Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Achiotenu kol Beit Yisrael. And usually we sing together. Today I want to share a video that was created on October 7th by Cantor Dan Mutlu of Central Synagogue. And I think it came out that evening and really has been a light for me and for many others through these months. So you might choose to sing along with Cantor Mutlu or just listen. Achenu kol Beit Yisrael.
Achenu kol Beit Yisrael. Achenu kol Beit Yisrael. הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. אחינו כל בית ישראל, בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה ומאפלה ליורה ומשיבוד לגאולה השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה ומאפלה ליורה ומשיבוג לגאולה השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב השתה בגלה ובזמן
May our practice connect our hearts to the great heart of the world. Amen ve'amen. Shavua Tov. Thank you all for practicing today.